Hello and welcome back to another episode of Justin Speaks. Today we are going over marriage, its importance, what it is, and what is the big deal. To those of you who do live in the United States of America, might know that the Supreme Court has pretty much agreed, or gave their consent to gay marriage by not accepting a case that was conjured and filed by many states. A gay marriage is now legal. I can only remember this one state because it's where I live and it affects me. But gay marriage is now illegal in Indiana after our past, I guess you can say, climax, where a judge, I think it was the chief judge, Young, he legalized marriage, but then our attorney general came back and was like, no, screw you. But now, it's pretty much legal in all of the United States, because the Supreme Court has finally made a conclusion that gay marriage is right, or it's equal. And they said that not giving gay marriage, or I guess not giving marriage to gays, is unjust and unconstitutional. Now, they did not give us a definitive conclusion on this. What they did is they gave us their conclusion via their inaction. So, I have a video. I'll post a video down the link with another news anchorman who talks all about it, whatever. But today, I just want to go over what is the big deal and what is marriage really. Because I was just having a conversation with Mark. Many of you who do watch the channel know Mark from our Is War Justifiable debate. And what he said, and I do agree with him on this, marriage itself is not really important. We don't really need marriage. Now, what you want to do within your religion or your spiritual beliefs, whatever, is up to you. But I think legally and within the state, we shouldn't call it marriage. It should be called the civil union, which is something we do use, but we don't do that via legality in the means of writing a certificate or if you're brought up in law, etc. But I think the statewide, or when I say state, I don't mean my specific state, I mean the government should, recognize it as a civil union. So, basically, to start off, we're going to read a passage from the Harvard Journal called What is Marriage? The authors are Sheriff Gurgis, Robert P. George, and Ryan T. Anderson. Now, some of this I don't agree with. The point of it is rather, I'm not going to get into it. How would gay civil marriage affect you and your marriage? And it doesn't necessarily support gay marriage, but its two opening arguments, conjugal versus revisionist, is spot on. So we're going to read them. It starts off with, what is marriage? Consider two competing views. Conjugal view is where marriage is a union of a man and a woman who make a permanent and exclusive commitment to each other of the type that is naturally or inherently fulfilled by bearing and rearing children together. The spouses seal and renew their union by conjugal acts that constitute the behavioral part of the process of reproduction, thus uniting them as a reproductive unit. Marriage is valuable in itself, but its inherent orientation to the bearing and rearing of children contributes to its distinctive structure, including norms of monogamy and fidelity. This link of the welfare of children also helps explain why marriage is important to the common good and why the state should recognize and regulate it. Don't agree with that last sentence, but this is a revisionist view. Marriage is a union of two people, whether the same sex or opposite sexes, who commit to the romantically loving and caring for each other and to sharing the burdens and benefits of domestic life. It is essentially a union of hearts and minds enhanced by whatever forms of sexual intimacy both partners find agreeable. The state should recognize and regulate marriage because It has an interest in stable romantic partnerships and in the concrete needs of spouses and any children they may choose to rear. That's the only part I'm going to read. I would read further, but I'm not. If you want to take a look at the link down below, you can. You're more than welcome to do that. Okay, now here's what I have to say, okay? Marriage, if you go back and you look through all the history of marriage was originally a contract. Actually, the word marriage can be derived from the French word mariate, I believe that's what it is. Might be wrong, probably am. Which can even further be derived from a Latin word, which is a longer word, but it's pretty much the same thing. Mary, miatis or something. Anyways, it's basically a contract between what I've read, fathers or mothers, and the spouse. And it's, if you go back through Islamic traditions, you want to go to the biblical era is actually what we call it. The father would pretty much sell his daughter via arranged marriages, and usually it's getting something in return. Plus, you're giving your daughter away so you can bear children. So therefore, your legacy or your inheritance is passed on, and that was the whole idea. Now, the Bible though gives a lot. This is one of the reasons why I hate when people say that gay marriage is unchristian or un-Islamic. It's morally wrong to the eyes of God. It's because the Bible, the Quran, they both give so many conflicting views of what marriage is. Whether it's for building, for rearing children, or whether it's for uniting two loved ones together, or if it's supposed to be man and woman or whomever you love. It just gives so many conflicts. I think that marriage should be between anyone who truly loves each other, and to even further prove that point, or not prove it, but to further support that point, I believe that people should only have children if they are in a stable and structural union together, which I like the word civil union, because you'll see the word union a lot. And really, the main reason people want to get married is not because they want a piece of paper by the state that shows that they are together. They want to get those benefits, those rights to be married couples, get insurance, get discounts, whatever. No, they want to be recognized as married, not because they want a piece of paper that says they're married. Because a lot of my gay friends they're happy with no paper. They don't need the state to tell them they're married to live together and to make love. They want that to get the benefits and the rights that they should have, which now they do, but they should have got that. I ain't got those rights from day one, which we can discuss stuff like that in a different video. But I don't think people should have children unless they're in a structural union together, because what happens today is that so many people think they're in love, whether they are lesbian, or actually you'll find that gay marriages who do have children tend to last, they stick together more than men and women, because what's happening is that people are getting together thinking they're in love, they get married, they have children, and they fall apart, and then the child's thrown right into it. They're just thrown into it. It's like throwing your child into a tornado and saying, I love you, but there's a tornado, go into it. What you'll end up having is that the spouses, or I guess you can say ex-spouses, will try to convince that said child to love them more than they do the other. Now, this is not true for all of them. It's not true for all of them. It's true for some of them, if not most. I actually know a lot of people to where both ex-spouses will share the child equally in a way. I don't want to make it sound like the child's property, but the mother will get X amount of time with them. She says, "I love you," and it's more like this is how it should be. It's what it should be, is where all it is the spouses splitting. That's all it is, and that's all it should ever be. And I know some people who are like that. My mom, it's the relationship that my mom and my dad are in. They're both divorced. My mom happens to be a lesbian. She's married to another woman. And my mom's okay, she's like, Justin, I'm not going to make you hate your father. She'll flat out say, I'm not going to say I'm trying to make you hate your father. I love you. That's all that matters. But my dad, on the other hand, he will oftentimes, start blaming stuff on my mother. And he doesn't do it objectively, but subjectively, he will try to hint that he, quote unquote, loves me more than my mother, that he's better than my mother, or that my mom doesn't love me. And that's not the way it should be. It should be the two spouses are split, and that's all it should ever be. The child should not be thrown to the hex. Which is why I think that if you're going to have a marriage, or you're going to get a civil union, which is what I want it to be called, on general term, you need to make sure that before you bear children, you are not only in a stable relationship, because stability can unravel, but you're in a structural relationship. Now, I think both of these need to go hand in hand, because if you're in a structural relationship but no stability, your structure can fall apart. You need to be both stable and structural. Usually what happens is that when marriages fall apart, they either have one or neither of those two. But when relationships are everlasting, they have both of those two. And that's where I'm going to end it off today. But just remember, if you're looking into getting married and having children, please take my advice. If not, go do your research, do everything you can to make sure that your child has a long-lasting life. And leave your comments below. Tell me what you think about marriage, whether you have a conjugal view or a revisionist view. And if you want to get into a debate about it, not a flame war, comment war, piece of shit thing, I don't do that kind of stuff anymore. I haven't done that for years. But if you want to get into a sophisticated debate with me, please email me or send me a message down low. Visit our website, email me, whatever, and I will set it up. We can have a debate. You can be brought on here if you want. So thank you for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more videos.
I do. I do.
I do. I do.
I do.
I do.
I do.
I do.
I do. I do.
I do.
I do.
And I do want us to see every tulip we've planted come up spring after spring.
100 more years of dinners cooked over a shared glass of wine and 1,000 more movies in bed.
I do until our eyes become voices, speaking without speaking.
Until like a cloud meshed into a cloud, there is no more you.
Me, our name's useless.
I do want you to be the last face that I see.
Your breath, my last breath. I do, and will for those who still can't vow it yet, but know love's exact reason as much as they know
How a sail keeps the wind without breaking, or how roots dig away into the earth, or how the stars open their eyes to the night.
Or how a vine becomes one with the wall it loves. Or how, when I hold you, you are rain in my hand.